Please take a minute and in the warm-ups, try these two warm-up questions before moving on. Okay, so the first one, you're saving money to buy season tickets, and after a year, you have a total of $4,500 in your account when you initially invested $400. What is the interest rate? Remember, anytime you see the word interest rate, you're going to use the formula I equals P times R times T. You're looking for the rate. You know that it's a year, so I equals something, P equals something, R equals something, and T. You don't know R, so we're going to leave it as R. You know the time is 1 year. You have 4,500 when you initially invested 4,000. So you know your principal is 4,000, but your interest is not 4,500. That's what you have. So you have to take your 4,500 minus what you invested, and you get $500, and that's your interest because that's how much you gain from your principal. So you just plug it in, and you get 500 equals your principal 4,000 times R times 1. Well, 4,000 times 1 is just 4,000. So you have 500 equals 4,000 R divided by 4,000. 500 divided by 4,000 is 0.125 equals R, but you always have to write it as a percent. So you move it over 1, 2, 12.5% interest. For the second one, Nick works at home warehouse. He earns $100 per hour plus 2.75 commission. So we're going to be using commission here on furniture sales. Last week he worked 25 hours and sold this much of furniture. So these are his sales. Find his pay for last week. So last week he earns $10 an hour. So his pay would equal his hourly wage plus his commission. So his total pay, I know that he is $10 per hour, so times the number of hours, which is 25. So 10 times 25 plus, remember to find commission, it's your rate times your sales. So his rate was 2.75, which becomes 0.0275 times his sales of 1,527 and 45 cents. When you multiply both of those and then add, you get 250 plus 4,200, which means he made a total of $292. So that was just a little bit of a review from yesterday. Today we're going to talk about percent change. When you find percent change, here's the formula for it. So the change is the original amount, or the amount of change, which is going to be a difference. You're always going to subtract your big minus your small over the original amount. Always look for the word from. Think if you came from Upper St. Clair and you're going to Mount Lebanon, your original location was the word from. Percent increase versus percent decrease. Percent increase would mean that your number goes up. So from 2 to 7. Notice from 2, that's your original, and it went up to 7. Percent decrease, the number goes down. So we would flip-flop it from 7, because it's your original, to 2, you went down. So let's go ahead and let's find some. Example 1 says the percent increase or decrease from 16 to 12. Well, I look for the word from. This is my original. Since it went from 16 to 2, I know that this is going to be a percent decrease since the number got smaller. And remember, you do your big minus your small, so 16 minus 12 over your original, which is 16. So you get 4 over 16, which is 1/4, which is 0.25. So you have to make it a percent though. Your percent decrease equals multiplied by 125%. Or you could say a 25% decrease. The second one, find the percent increase or decrease from 15, circle it. Look at it, it looks like an O for original, to 20. Since it's going up, I know it's going to be a percent increase. Still, when you're subtracting, do your big minus your small. So 20 minus 15, over this time my original is 15. So 20 minus 15 is 5/15, which simplifies to 1/3, which is 33.33 repeating percent. So the percent increase, it increased by 33.33 repeating percent. Now let's take a look, and this time it says find the result when 72 is increased by 25%. Find the result when 72 is increased by 25%. Well, what's it saying? It's meaning 25% of 72. We got that from here. Increase by means plus. So it's saying what is 72 plus 25% of means times 72. We had talked about percents already. So I want to know 72 increased by plus 25%. You have to write it as a decimal. 0.25 times your 72. So what happens when 72 is increased by 25%? Well, first find your 25% of 72, and you get 18. So 72 plus 18, 72 plus 18 gives you 90. So when 72, and look, does it make sense? Ask yourself, does it make sense? Did 72 increase by 25% is 90? Sure, if you would have gotten like 30, that's not even an increase, so you definitely could have checked that out. Find the result when 10 is decreased. So 10 is getting smaller, so subtract by 40% of 10 this time. So I would say 10 minus 0.4 times 10. So I define my 40%. 40% times 10 is going to be 4. So you get 10 minus 4 is 6. Let's ask ourselves, does it make sense? When 10 is decreased by 40%, it's 6? Well, yeah, that makes sense. Now, you might be asking, where do we use this? We actually use it every day in shopping. Your stores do percent increase and percent decrease every single day. Your stores, when you go to the store, they use something called a markup. And a markup is just simply a percent of wholesale cost. Well, you might be asking, well, what's wholesale cost? So let's think about this. Let's talk about, Target. So Target is buying, so here's Target. Here you are. And here's the factory. Got a little smokestack on it. Okay, so what happens is Target has to buy from the factory. So it goes here, and Target buys it. Target buys it at wholesale cost from the factory. They buy it. They have to buy it from somebody. Then they mark it up. Then it goes to you. So Target might buy something for, maybe they buy a DVD for $3 from the factory, but they sell it to you for $15. This $3 was the wholesale cost. It's what they bought it for. Your wholesale cost, give yourself a little note here. This is always your original number, which makes sense because they originally bought it for $3 and sold it to you for $15. The way you find your final price is you have to think. Target's going to make you pay that $3. So it's your wholesale cost I'm just going to say wholesale cost, plus the markup, which is your percent times your wholesale cost, which you're probably a little bit more familiar with the discount, but this formula right here, we're going to use it all the time. So this is a dollar amount, your original, plus a percent times that same dollar amount. These two numbers are the same. A discount, though, is a percent of the original cost. So a discount would be like using a coupon. Here are your final costs. It comes from your original cost. And since it's going down, you subtract your percent of the original. And of means time. Essentially, percent of original, that is another name for your discount. Because you take your original, subtract your discount, and that's going to give you your final cost. Let's take these formulas and let's put them to action. If we know here, admission to Cedar Point for a one-day pass is $49.99. If you're in the military, you get a 20% discount. The first part says how much is the discount. Remember, discount equals a percent of the original cost. Well, we know that my percent is 20%. So 20% as a decimal equals 0.2. So I put 0.2 of means times the original cost is $49.99. So the discount that they get is approximately $10. So we answered the first part. The second part says, how much do they have to pay? So the second part is, what's their final cost? Well, they would take their original amount, $49.99, subtract their discount of $10, and they would pay $39.99. Okay, let's try another one. Jessica paid $12 for a $15 t-shirt. What was the percent discount? Let's just look at this first one here. This is number, these are actually two different questions. So let's say this is A, and this one here is B. So we'll split it up and we'll do A first. So she paid $12, and the original cost was $15. What was the percent discount? Well, a percent discount is the same thing as a percent decrease, which we know is your big number minus your small over the original. So it's the exact same thing. Our original was told it was 15. So I'm going to say that her percent decrease equals 15 minus 12 divided by 15. So we get 3 over 15, which is 20%. Now let's do the second half of B. A video game has a 70% markup. So my percent markup equals 70%. The wholesale equals $9. What is the selling price? Remember, your final price equals your wholesale plus the percent times the wholesale. So we'll take our wholesale, $9, plus 70% is really 0.7. 0.7 times 9. So you get 9 plus 6.3, and you know that's going to cost $15.30. Again, all of this stuff is really